movies. Mutilation, decapitation, torture. Does that sound entertaining? More blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention?
Cool. Welcome back, terrestrials. It's summertime. It's hot, and we've been doing summer blockbusters. We're just summertime movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'd call Sleepaway Camp a blockbuster, but Jaws in this movie definitely are. In this episode, we're doing Sinners. So, I've been tracking this movie since the first preview dropped, since the first rumblings.
Right.
And I've been like, Jerry, this movie's gonna be great. And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it looks great. You're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go see it in theaters, and I'm like, Jerry, it is great. And you're like, yeah, okay. And then I'm like, Jerry, we have to review this movie. And you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm in Excite.
Okay.
So I'm curious, what do you give this?
I give it an A.
Okay,
I
that's
really
fair.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I have more like more like hypes or not hypes. I have more like oh wows than I do gripes. Like
yeah.
a few.
Okay.
But they're like pitiful. They're like gives a fuck. They don't
Minuscule
affect
gripes.
yeah.
Yeah,
They don't affect the story. It's my own shit. You know, like even like
yeah,
Tara was like, who gives a fuck?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was just like, all right, there's my answer, but they're
yeah.
still on my brain, you know,
Okay.
kind of
Well,
like,
let's definitely address them.
you
I'm
know,
interested to
and
see them.
but yeah, so I give it an A. What you got?
Man, so I really struggled with this one, and I know typically when we give things an S, we just say S. We've never said S plus or S
Hey, well,
minus,
you can do that
you
if you
know?
want. Shit,
Um,
you
but
can give it a
I feel
Q
like
for all I know. You know, it's a
right. Well,
Q.
yeah, you made this silly ass rating scale
Yeah,
that goes above
yeah,
an A plus. So,
yeah.
um, but no, I think A plus is going to be safe. I would give it an S. I'm very, very tempted. I may change my answer by the end of it.
Hmm.
I love this movie.
Good.
I am thoroughly a fan of this movie. I think that it's really, really good. It definitely is a far better Battle of the Bands than Scott Pilgrim. But I think that I think that it's just, we've been dealing with so many remakes and so many this and that, that when these original movies come out
Hmm.
and they're good, it just hits so much harder.
Right.
Like all of them. Like
Yeah.
and I would venture to say that this is the best movie of the year thus far, and I don't know that it can be topped by anything.
You're gonna
I
give
like this.
it's better than Nosferatu?
Oh, for sure.
Is it better than The Substance?
Yeah.
Long Legs, even though that
Yeah.
came out last year, but we saw it this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All three of those powers combined, I don't touch this for me. Like they could put themselves together like the Power Rangers, and it just not.
Okay.
Uh, all those movies are good, but this movie blows all of those movies out.
Okay.
Like this is my type of summer blockbuster. Not Mission Impossible 7, not Fast and the Furious, whatever. This is my style blockbuster. So
Hmm.
I'm happy to see it. I'm happy that it's gotten all of its praise. I'm happy for the movie. I'm happy for the people in the movie.
Yeah.
So I guess let's talk about all
Let's
the
talk
things you
about it.
do.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay. So,
let's talk about the things that you don't like before we talk about the things that made it
like,
great.
okay. First of all, and
Okay.
once more, pitiful. Like, who gives a fuck? You know,
Okay.
I understand it, but at the viewing of this, we
Hmm.
just got done with Sleepaway Camp.
Hmm.
I had just gone into like the 2B 1980s trash, you know,
Okay.
and I put this on and I'm like, oh, another fucking like s- amazing horror film with amazing cinematography and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, some trash and shit. You know, it's the same thing like over the summer where it's like every horror film coming out now just looks amazing. Like they just get peak cinematography and they get peak like writing and shit, and it's really really good. And like I was just sitting there like, I want some trash, I want some trash and shit.
I
Fucking
mean, that's definitely still out there in abundance, so
oh
you can
yeah, I mean
definitely find
fucking,
it.
and the shit, this movie probably exists, like, you know, fucking Jim Crow vampires, yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
it probably exists in the
right,
trash realm, you know.
right, right.
But this is, and then like, okay, so that's my first like, you know,
Okay, but I feel like that's not a gripe against the movie. That's just you weren't in the mood for it. So
no,
that's
it
and
wasn't that I
I
wasn't
wouldn't
in the
even
mood
can
for it. It was just like my brain knew like I'm in that zone. The same thing like when we were
right, but
watching
that's not
Substance
something
and
to be held against the movie. So I wouldn't even consider that like I wouldn't even say that's one of your pity like small gripes. Like
Uh,
that's not what you were in the mood for.
right.
So,
But
I
again,
wouldn't
it's a
even say that that's held
small,
against the
like,
movie.
look at how pretty this looks and shit. Fucking,
Right, right, right.
but so that's first one. Second one, and this
It's
one's a
like
little bit more
bitching about the pizza tasting good.
right. You know, it's like it's good. You know, if you kind of like
I
that
wanted a
stuff. I mean, I'll like
microwavable
another one.
Celeste pizza. I
You
didn't
know,
want this
yeah,
delicious pizza.
yeah. I like to take the microwave pizza and cook it like until it like it's hard.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
was like
yeah, yeah,
what?
yeah.
Um, but yeah. So that was my first one. The second one, and
Okay,
it is aesthetic of the movie
okay.
where I was like, all right, so spoilers. If you haven't seen this, we're gonna be in spoiler territory.
Oh
If you
yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
be
We're
spoiled,
spoiling. Yeah.
get the fuck out, you know.
Yeah,
But
sorry, sorry. I've been waiting too long to talk about
you're
this
right.
movie. We're
It's been
spoiling
out.
shit.
It's on HBO. Fucking, I recommend it. Jacob recommends it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
it's okay. So, but spoilers. Um. Okay, so the vampires
Mhm.
don't turn people by making them drink blood. They turn them by biting them, and I was like, that's fucking zombies. Like zombies bite you and you
Whoa, whoa,
turn
whoa,
into a
hold on, hold on,
zombie.
hold on. Jerry, every vampire bites by or turns by biting, though.
Okay.
They don't make you drink their
What other
blood
movie?
to turn them. All of them, Jerry.
Okay, I
All of
want
them.
one.
John Carpenter's vampires. The main vampire bites
No,
that
no,
girl
not
between
that
the legs
one.
and
Like
turns
that
her.
one's not
Okay.
like
Oh, what
a
vampire
more
movies? The other
recognizable one.
vampire movie? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
the other
Um,
vampire movies. Give me
any of
another
them.
vampire movies that turn
Okay,
them.
cool. Dust Till Dawn. Name a vampire movie. That's how vampires work. They bite you in the neck and
Yeah,
you turn into a
you gotta
vampire.
Michael drank the blood. Okay,
Who's Michael?
Michael, Michael from
Who's Michael?
what do you call it? Lost Boys, and then Louis, he drank
The
the
only
blood.
person that the only other person outside Lost Boys that I've ever seen that happen to is True Blood, and that's not even how they turned them. That was just a drug for
Yeah,
humans, was to drink
but
vampire blood.
so it's just it seems like, but
The
then this
proper way
goes
to do it,
into
because it is. Okay.
it goes into like, oh, this is where I like really started enjoying the movie because of this one mistake they made where, you know, they didn't, you know, vampires are more like zombies, but that's like, oh, this is the Night of the Living Dead, and it's amazing. Like, did you get that reference?
Yeah, but I'm still blown away by this statement of vampires don't turn by biting like
Like,
people
not
and
just
turning them.
one bite
All
and
right,
then you're a
so look, the
vampire.
way right, so that's the way vampires have always worked. They bite you, and if they don't drain all of your blood, you turn into a vampire. If they drain all of your blood, you die. That's the way vampires
Right.
have worked since Dracula. You
Until
remember
you
that
drink their
big
blood.
known, well, no, until you've that well known one.
You
The
in the
only other
audience.
vampire that I
Tell
know
me.
that does that is Lestat and Rice's vampire.
And yes, Anne Rice, and then does
Okay,
what do
but
you call it?
Dracula and
Lost
Nosferatu
Boys,
would change
you know,
you by
Michael
bite.
drink
So
the
the
blood.
actual vampires change you by biting you, and then the 80s vampire slash Jonathan Davis vampire uh makes you drink their
Jonathan
blood to change
Davis.
you. Yeah, the Queen of the Damned, Lestat.
That wasn't in the
Qu-
80s. That was in the like the early nine. I mean the mid late 90s.
I think that was like 2000s. Not
Yeah,
Interview with a
it's fucking. I
Vampire,
don't
but
know.
Queen of the Damned.
Yeah,
Anyways, leave it in the comments section.
yeah.
Which way do
Tell
vampires
Jacob
change
he's
you?
wrong
What's the
and
more
shit. That
yeah,
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 vampires. They need
super
to.
wrong.
You need to drink the vampire blood to become vampire. Like they drink your blood, and then you drink their blood, and then you become their
That's
blood.
how you get STDs, Jerry. That's
That's
not how
what
you turn into a
vampirism
vampire.
technically is. It was just a
Kind of, yeah, I
code
guess
for
so.
fucking syphilis. So,
Okay, yeah, all right.
but no, I want to go back more onto
Yeah,
okay
yeah, for sure.
the Night of the Living Dead analogy in this
Mhm.
of like, okay, they're in the place, okay, are lone survivors, and there's a horde of vampires or zombie, out there,
Mhm.
and they have to like figure out how are we going to survive? How are we going to
Mhm.
do this? They're getting all the shit together and, doing this and that. And I was loving that and stuff. And I was like, yep. And just like like a zombie movie, it all goes to shit within like the first like 20 minutes and shit. And fucking then there's just zombies all over the place. And I was like,
So that's
awesome.
not where my brain went. My brain went Dust Till Dawn
Well, yeah. I
because they're all
mean, but
stuck
that's
within the
also
titty
like the
twister.
same, kind of like equivalent of they're out there, because in Dust Till Dawn they have like
Right.
they're in that
They're
one little back room
right.
and they're like, okay, we got a
Well,
plan.
even before that, once they kill the initial vampires within the titty twister, the other vampires come from outside the titty
Right.
twister. So, and then
Well,
they
no,
end up in the
no,
back room.
Selma
So, but that's
Hayek
the
was
way.
in there.
Well, right, I understand that, but what I'm saying is they handle what's in the titty twister,
Right.
and then more come in from outside,
Right.
and then that's when they end up in the back room because they get overrun.
Yeah.
Same thing with this kind of concept. But that's where my brain went. I didn't go Night of the Living Dead with it, but yeah,
I just
cool.
saw like Night of the Living Dead because like, yeah, there was that moment where like, okay, they're all out there and they're trying to get, the people out there, and then all of a sudden, like they make a plan, they have the plan down, they have the plan good, and within
Hey,
4 seconds, the plan goes to shit, and then there's just overrun by vampires. And I
well,
was
yeah,
just like,
because
that is awesome. Huh?
The Asian lady went
She
wild on
was going, I mean, they're gonna get her daughter. Come and get me, motherfuckers. And yeah,
them.
and
Come
then
on
they're like,
in.
that's an invite, that's an invite, that's an invite. I loved it.
Yeah.
Give me
Okay.
some pleasantries. Give me
Yeah,
some
there's
good
definitely,
moments. There's
those
a lot
gripes.
of
As far as gripes go, that's not really gripes to me. But it's miseducation in vampires, and then you just weren't in the mood for this stylistic movie. I will say, in my rebuttal to that first part, I do think that though we both love that 80s trash, right? I am happy that
Oh
these
yeah,
movies
definitely.
are getting these budgets. They're
Yeah.
getting a fair shot. They don't have to be shoestring budgets anymore
Hmm.
because the want is there. So
Right.
as far as that goes, I see your point. I still love it, that 80s trash. Um, but I'm also happy that
There's
this is
plenty
this
of
is
trash out
happening.
there for me to consume. So
Right, yeah,
I'm,
for sure, for sure.
like just
Um,
like the timing was wrong at that point, fucking.
yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, there's plenty of trash out there. Fuck, I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
can dig up a 500 of those vampire movies that are look like shit that were made on a cell phone.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, but yeah, so I'm just you know, I'm happy that it did get the budget. I'm happy that horror movies are starting to get budgets like that. But the awesomeness of this movie, I think that the storyline is written so well. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously the visual effects, I mean, when you got two people playing twins or one person playing a set of twins, that creates its own set of challenges.
It did.
It's done. Yeah, and it but they mastered it.
No.
They moved on from it.
It
And
was
they did a great
only
job with it.
when I was watching, it was only difficult when they removed their colors. It's like one
Right,
in
right,
red, one
right.
in blue. So my brain could, and then like when the shit started hitting the fan, that's when like their hats and like their coats and shit started coming
Mhm.
off. And I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, which one is, okay, that's the one in red who's a vampire now. Okay. And then that's the one in blue. Okay. That's the one in blue. Okay. Okay. I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Then my brain went,
Um
message.
yeah, yeah. Um but yeah, so like I, you know, I think that everything about it was good. You know, when that fat Klansman, the white guy that sells them the building or whatever,
Right.
first pulls up and they're waiting, and the one rolls the cigarette and hands it to the other. I was like, oh, they're just flexing. They're just flexing at how good they did this. Like that they didn't need to do that. Like that's not, you know, it is something that kind of happens later in the movies, like roll me a
Right.
cigarette. But like that is just like a flex right off the bat to be like, check this shit out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the storyline is good. The world building was magnificent. I mean, it was just top tier world building. Like the the small church in on the crop share farmers.
Hmm.
I mean, every bit of it, cotton fields, the roads, the
That's what
cars,
got
the
me.
stores, like every piece of this looked like they put so much effort into detail.
Hmm.
Um, you know, there was no accidental cell phone left or a
Oh,
plane in the
right, right,
sky or
right.
anything like that. Like you do see that sometimes in time period movies. But it's just like they made this movie with so much love
Hmm.
and care about the story and about framing it properly. It just, I mean, that is only outshined by the music. The music was
Hmm.
just like it was phenomenal. I've listened to the soundtrack album probably 40 times. Like I
Right.
love it. I just put it on and press play. Like you know, but not the shitty Aerosmith album, like this album instead. Um, but yeah, I just the movie is wonderful in so many ways that it's like and the dialogue's pretty good too.
Yeah.
The you know, when he goes into town and he's talking to the shop, the Asian guy about like, hey, I need this, I need that, and they're haggling
They're
back and
haggling, yeah,
forth,
and he's
and then he
teaching
comes
the
out and
young
he
boy
shoots
haggle,
the yeah,
you know.
and he like shoots the kid, and then or the shoots the guy for like being in the truck, and
Yeah.
then he's like having a conversation with him, and the kid starts running. He's like, "Go ahead, I bet you my bullet beat you there," like, like every like the like the dialogue is great. Can
Yeah.
you guess what the remember when I was like, you're gonna watch this and somebody's gonna say something and you're gonna be like, that's what Jacob was talking about. Can you guess what that was?
No, it's been too long. Maybe if you asked me on Saturday, I would have
Okay.
guessed. But no,
In
I
the
and plus when I was watching it, that was out like okay, I gotta find Jacob's line and shit. Fucking, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
just
Fucking
well,
was it
no, I didn't mean it needed to you
what
had to have it wasn't a
was it
book report, but
the wooden nickel? You know, like
nah.
okay,
It's the part where he's dancing with the light skinned girl and she's like, "Oh, you can rob trains and banks, but you can't steal this pussy for a night." I was
Right.
just like, "That's the fucking coolest shit!" Like, hell yeah, dude.
For good.
But yeah,
Um, back to attention to detail is really where I think more so than the dialogue and everything else is the
Mhm.
attention to detail and the small things. You got to really pay attention on certain things. First of all, I love the detail of when they're driving and it's showing, the it's just cotton fields because it's
Mhm.
all pre-purchased cotton fields. It's all cotton fields because they're
Mhm.
trying to get all of that money's worth on that crop. And
Mhm.
I just loved it on, in the old
So you
car
love slavery.
and
Okay.
yeah, fuck. But no, I just love that old car and you just that symbolism of like this oppressive
Mhm.
life on cotton, like
Yeah.
that I love that detail. Like,
Mhm.
this struggle and this hard times, the Jim Crow era,
Mhm.
and you just see this, pure white cotton all over the
Mhm.
fields. Another one, and like my I did that like I did that while watching it, and it's an old tale. Okay, in the beginning of the movie, we hear three stories. We hear of the Scotch Irish, we
Mhm.
hear of the African, and we hear of the Native Americans having the three
Mhm.
of the similar kind of
Right.
like music
The spirit.
players, the
Yeah.
spirit talkers.
Right.
And so when our main vampire goes to the crackers out in the middle of nowhere,
Mhm.
and the Native Americans come and they're looking for him because they know what he is. You
Mhm.
know, if you look closely when they go away and when they're going to, there's buzzards flying around
Hmm.
the the house. Now, long ago, I always heard a tale that says that one day uh, a Native American tribe was uh, on the warpath, and one of the braves or one of the warriors looked out and saw buzzards off in the distance.
Mhm.
And he's like, today's going to be a good day because death is over there, not here, because
Nice.
buzzards
Right.
represent death being somewhere.
Right.
And
They circle death. Yeah.
yeah. And like, I was like, oh, they put the buzzards over on top of the house because they know he's dead. They know he's
Mhm.
dead. Not like literally the husband's dead at that point, but
Right.
they know that vampire is death. It's
Mhm.
death, And I was like, oh, I like that so much. I
That's
like
a
that.
that's an interesting little detail that
Yeah.
I
Like
never
next
even
time
picked
you
up on.
watch it,
I
sit
also
down
didn't know
and
that
because if you
story, but
notice those buzzards are just there's three of them just circling first and then they're
mm,
perched. And when they perch, they know they've found something. When they circle, they're looking. When they're
mhm,
perched, they found.
mhm.
And when the Native American guys leave, they're perched. And
Mm,
I was just like,
nice. That's cool. I didn't put that together. Um, I have to, obviously I'll be rewatching this. So
yeah.
I think the next time I'm rewatching, I'm gonna do it in black and white though, because I'm really interested in seeing how it
I when I
plays.
watched it, I looked at for that, and I think you're gonna have an enjoyable experience, except if it
The
gets dark.
mixing of
And
the
I,
twins.
huh?
Oh, I was gonna say
No,
the mixing of the
I
twins.
mean, because they when they the twins, one has a derby hat, the other has like the fedora,
Right, but I was
and
talking about at the end when they're fighting and rolling on
no.
top of each other and stuff.
I don't
Um,
remember if they gave them any distinguished marks. No,
I
one has,
think
I
that
think, a mustache and one has a goatee.
I maybe, but I also think that one wears his hair one way and the other wears his hair the other way. But I could just be making that up. Um,
Right.
but another thing to point out in this movie, and of course this hits home for me because of personal issues, but there's a lot of heart in this movie as well. There's a
Hmm.
lot of emotional things in this movie.
Yeah.
Um, like when he goes, when Smoke goes and visits his um his ex-girlfriend or his baby mama or whatever, and he's at the grave and stuff. Like, I lost a child, I know what that's like, so that
Yeah.
bothered me a lot. And then in turn at the end of the movie, like, I was crying because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's awesome, he gets his kid. I know that I talked to somebody else and they addressed the idea of the ending being ridiculous. Like, it wasn't needed, basically, of him fighting, or like him getting the guns out and killing the Klansmen and stuff
Right.
like that. Like, all that wasn't necessary. I don't know, man. I really enjoyed it. I feel like, could they have done without it? Yeah, sure. But how do you get I feel like that wasn't the point. The point was he gets to see his baby mom and his
Right.
kid. So, like, how do you get to that point if he survived? So I think it just drove that part
I
to the
s-
end.
I see both
Yeah,
arguments.
right,
I
right.
see
Yeah,
both.
exactly.
Um, yes, there is a part of me that says, yeah, I would have liked it if, like, he goes and kills his brother,
Hmm.
and then his brother mortally wounds, you know, the one
Hmm.
character, and then we get that moment. But I
Right, right.
think with that, it would have happened too fast because he
That's true.
just lost her,
Hmm.
in the house. And he had his moment with that. And then he fought off his brother and the other vampires, and we have those real tense moments. So we needed like a pause, a break.
Hmm.
I did when, it's just like, and I'm glad that they showed just like, these are just crackers,
Hmm.
in Jim Crow. They weren't, robed out,
Right,
even
right.
though for like a couple times I thought, oh, they're gonna do like something where you see them off in a distance and they're all wearing robes and then the vampires get them and now we have to deal with
Yeah.
vampire KKK
Clan.
members and it's gonna
Yeah.
be crazy,
Right. Right.
but I'm glad they didn't go down that route because it
Mhm.
wasn't about that. It was about the vampires only.
Right.
And it kept the vampires as like a strong villain.
Hmm.
As much as I really like the vampires in this, they are also just like a really good like villain to overcome.
Yeah, and I think that the vampires were also kind of likable. It turns out
Well, of course.
vampirism cures racism too,
Yeah.
because the initial three vampires, two of them were racists. Like, he even says that one was the guy who sold you's, he's the Grand Master and that's his cousin. And they show the clan outfit in his house. So he was
Yeah.
totally fine after he had vampirism. He was like, oh, snap, my
Yeah.
bad. I was all
We
wrong,
just hate
guys.
all people
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
are just the food.
But I think that also that's another thing with the vampires. They weren't out to just kill. I mean, they were, but they weren't. They were also out searching for something.
They were searching for the song.
Yeah, they were searching. He said he wants to see his ancestors again
Right.
because he's been here for so long, and Samuel can do that.
Yes.
So he needs Samuel to provide him that transition, that amazing transition that we see within in the what is it? What are they called? Um Juke, within the Juke, that uh that lures them there in the first
Hmm.
place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, and also that scene with the way the music all blends from the different regions and time frames and stuff, it was just
Yeah, it was
so
pretty.
well done.
I also you were mentioning back like how vampirism cures racism. I also
Mhm.
like how vampirism also you know an instrument automatically and a dance routine. Like it was like my brain was going and I was sitting there and I was like, do you think they were like that vampire was sitting there at the house like, no, we're not going out until you get this right. Okay, go to sleep. No, no, but
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, it doesn't matter because it's fucking awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is funny. I wonder if they knew how to play that music, but they did say um they know everything that everybody else knows.
Right.
So if he bites them, maybe he transfers his knowledge of music to them. Uh, but yeah, I mean, yeah,
I think that's
there was a
why they wanted that one kid. Because if they would have turned that one kid into a vampire, then the main vampire would have like know he'll know how to summon his ancestors. He'll know how to do that. And that's
yeah,
what
it's a
he
good
wants.
possibility. It's a good possibility.
Not he wants him to be a vampire so the kid will do it. But if you know if you have this magical power and I make you a vampire, then I have this magical power, you know.
Well, based on the way the story tells, only Samuel can do it.
Right.
Or like only Samuel, or there's other ones around, but only Samuel has that power. Now, it could be transferred through being bitten,
Yeah.
but based on the story, that vampire needs Samuel to do it,
Right.
not bite him to get the. So I don't know. Maybe it's both.
Maybe it's
I
both.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it might be both or just your first theory, but um
Could yeah, I mean it also could be what you said. It could be he learns it because they said that.
all right.
Like they said, like, oh, I know everything he knows now. I see everything he sees. Like,
The only thing like that was another thing I was thinking about, is like, okay, so they said if you kill the main vampire, all the other vampires die off, you know. But yet, spoilers, the two vampires
no, they
didn't
didn't
die.
say that.
I thought they said, yeah, all we got to do is kill that
No,
main one and
at one point Stack is saying, can we just kill the main
okay.
vampire who bought or bit him? And the voodoo lady was like, no, that's not how this works. There is no saving them.
Okay.
So yeah, because and in a lot of vampire stories, you kill the main vampire, you get your
Right.
friends back. So, but in this one, they were like, "Mm-mm, nope. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's one way, but I mean, like at the end where they showed up and oh, that's another thing too that I'm not a fan of, I should say. I'm not a fan
okay.
of, but it was fine, you know. But I didn't like we see the young kid come in the very beginning and he's all
Mm-hmm.
fucked up and he has the broken guitar into the church and then it goes the next or the day before, you know. And I
Three
was
days
like,
before or something.
yeah, and I was just like, oh, it just gave away, a good, like I know
It
they were
it
talking about.
does. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say they were talking about that, and that's how they were gonna open The Shining with
Mhm.
Wendy in an insane asylum talking about the events at the hotel. And I know
Mhm.
Kubrick was like, no, I'm not doing that shit. Fucking because it tells us that Wendy's gonna make it out. It doesn't ruin this story, but I was automatically going, okay, he's gonna live because it
Well,
says
yeah.
tomorrow.
So I don't think that that was the takeaway. Oh, I like, yeah, I understand what you're saying,
Hmm.
but for me, that wasn't the important part because you see him, obviously he's coming back to his father's house of worship, but in the end of the movie, when you see it, you go, "Oh, all right, yeah."
Right.
So he stays with his dad, and then they're like, "Nope." He hits the road again after all of that. He still said no, and he became a famous blues singer, or
Right.
just a club blues singer or whatever. Um, that was the twist to me, because you think when he walks back in at the end, you're like, oh, I saw this in the beginning. He goes home. Yeah,
Right.
it's over. He goes home. And then they're just like, no, he actually doesn't. He hits the road again. And he loves music that much that he turned away again after everything he's seen and went back out and kept playing music. Now he really does know the blues. So now he can sing far better than he could. Better
Right.
than Mississippi, whatever, Delta Slim. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, like I definitely get that where I wish we would have seen like did you like that where they were rolling the credits and then it was still story going?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that is a good combination of like when we see, because a lot of times we see the credits roll for like 5 minutes
And then we
and then
see
there's
the
something
after
later.
scene. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, like, when, because I saw this in theaters, when I'm there, I don't want to have to sit through credits to
Right.
see that extra 2 minutes of the movie, or sometimes a minute and a half, 30 seconds, whatever it
Yeah.
is. So I am okay with the fact that they were like, all right, here's some credits, but it's not over. And then the credits went away
And then like
until
yeah, the next story.
that scene was over, and then the credits rolled black, and did the rolling credit. um and I loved the ending. I loved it. I thought it
Yeah,
was
I thought it
great.
was pretty good.
They not only does he now really truly have the experience to make him a great blues singer, he's mildly successful to whatever fashion he is. He's grown old. Smoke did not kill him. Smoke did not come after him, but Smoke has kept an eye on him all
And a
these years.
vampire, him and his
Yeah,
lady.
he's a vampire.
Fucking
The
so
the thing that I thought was the funniest is that they were dressed like Fresh Prince.
yeah.
Um, I was like, when they walked in, not so
That's
much
the new
her. I mean,
style. That's the new
well, they
style.
said
The
that
fucking
like,
fluffy Cosby sweater.
well, no, that this scene takes place in like 1993,
Something like that. Yeah.
because yeah, so like it would have been Fresh Prince era, like that style would have been the thing.
All right.
Not so much her, but him,
Mm.
with the fucking cut and the knuckle, like across all, like the jewelry across all of his fingers that
Yeah.
says like a word or something. I think it said smoke. Um,
This says
but
word.
like, yeah, that would be hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I really, really enjoyed that scene, and I enjoyed the exchange that they had, because it was like, do you regret any of that? Nah, that was the best day up until that time. That was the best day of my life. And then it cuts back to all that again, and it
Yeah.
shows like what, his thought process behind it.
Yeah.
And I mean, up until that time, it is, obviously the time era of Jim Crow is not, but they are kind of having a blast. They really are, just like, we're about to throw a huge party. Like,
Yeah.
think about all those times you've thrown a party and you're like getting ready, like going and getting the booze, you're getting everything all set up. You
Yeah.
know, that's the fun. That's a lot of fun too. Like, you're excited,
Yeah.
the anticipation. Um, and then you see the outcome, whatever, and it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't know, I think that this movie was just, I think it was pretty much flawless. Obviously
Well,
you
yeah.
have your few things,
My
but
smile,
um
my like my yeah, exactly. I mean, there it doesn't matter. I had to come to the table with something instead of just this whole time. Even though I would highly recommend this and it is a great
oh, for sure.
watch and whatnot. I gotta come with something, fucking I couldn't
Yeah,
go and
and
I like
I was trying
this, and
to,
I like this. Ah, fucking there's
I mean, hey,
gotta have
that's exactly, did nobody did that to Point Break. Nobody
yeah.
was like, well, actually, the thing that did, no, we were like, no, it's
There's
fucking amazing all the way through.
yeah.
But because it's a black movie, Jerry has to come
Oh,
with
okay. Yeah, there you
something
go.
wrong
There you
with it.
go.
It can't just be a
Fucking
perfection.
yeah. There you
But
go.
yeah, no, I mean, I think like even the few things that you had to say, like, I didn't see them, but obviously we're not the same person, so
Just small
um
details that you
yeah,
notice and shit.
yeah,
Fucking so this movie is the prequel to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So that's
that would
Tommy.
be that would be
That's
funny,
that's
but
Tommy and Brother, Where Art Thou? That's why when they're at the campfire with Tommy and he's playing the blues song and shit and fucking they're all just kind of like drowned out like nah, I think we're gonna just stay here by the fire.
mhm.
It's because he's summoning and shit and fucking
That's the one thing that I thought that they were trying to do, but I didn't really see them do was like hypnotize. Like their eyes would start to glow, they would drool a little bit, but they never really hypnotized anybody. But I thought that that's what they were going to be doing when their eyes started glowing. That was like their version of hypnotism.
Right.
But maybe it was just them
It's in the eye of the
transferring from
beholder.
human to,
Like
yeah.
if you took it as hypnotism, it's hypnotism, but at the same time, it could
Well,
have
they didn't
been
hypnotize though. That's the thing,
right.
because like the main Irish cracker, he um his eyes turned, he started drooling to the light skinned girl, and she just got up and walked away, or stepped back and was like, nah, something's wrong. So like to break that hypnotism, then to me that's not hypnotism.
Right.
But I guess that's just when they transform from their human form to the vampire form, which I also enjoy that wasn't like a Lost Boys or what name any vampire movie where they change to this other face,
Right.
like
No, some of them
it
had like
wasn't
real
necessary.
gangle and then
Well, that's
like
well, the one guy did because he got his face shot off,
yeah,
and
and
then
then
the other guy did because his face got eaten.
right.
But like they were just them with
Yeah.
blood. So
I did
like
like the eye look of the vampire where the
yeah,
like it glows in the dark like cat's eyes and
yeah,
whatnot. I
yeah.
like that look,
Mhm,
of them. But the best is when that vampire is fighting him in the water
mhm,
and like you can look and his fingers look gangly,
mhm.
and it's like, oh, I really like that. So, and that's where
Yeah.
the vampire, like, I think after Twilight, you need vampire movies where it shows a credible threat. They're not all just twinkly hunky boys. They're a threat. They're a creature to be reckoned with. And this movie does that. It puts the balls back into a vampire. Where it's like, oh wow, yeah, if it was dark outside, I'd be scared of them too. So, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely it's funny because they put a level of fear out without fearing. Like these vampires I didn't fear. Like, when the Asian guy comes up and goes, "Come on. I got the car started. Come on."
Because he knows knows
To
how to get her
me,
out.
right, but to me that's like none of these vampires are scary. They're just charming. And I know that that's a vampire trait, but like also like why these guys, I think I would just like to I'd like to be cool with them. Like this is like that time when somebody's like, "You want to turn into a vampire?" That I'd be like, "Yeah, all right." I just bite me somewhere where I can hide it easy because I don't want to because it looks like their wounds don't heal. So like
Yeah.
whatever,
Uh,
just yeah, bite me on a butt cheek or
yeah.
something
The
where nobody's gonna
healing
see it or
would
something.
represent that you need like, you know, clots and you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
clots.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but unless they're like magical vampires and like, they just lick their hand like in some vampire movies I've seen where you just lick your hand and it takes away cuts and shit.
I don't know that I've seen that movie,
The
but all
fucking
right.
John C. Riley vampire movie. I can't think of the name. It's like French. Huh? Yeah.
No,
Got
I
John
don't
C.
think.
Riley in it. It's got fucking Willem Dafoe's in it as a vampire. And he's pretty cool. He puts on like rouge to make
Mm,
his face look like tanner.
human.
to make
Uh-huh.
him look normal, but then his neck is like solid white and shit. It's a comedy, but it's more for kids. It was basically like trying to make a vampire Harry Potter movie at the
Hmm.
time. They were supposed to be like a bunch of them, but they only had enough for one. So,
Interesting. Have to look into that. That
right.
sounds you got all the right things there.
But but yeah. But in that case, Jacob,
Yes.
you go see fucking go see some theater?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah.
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 I wouldn't have mind to go have seen this in the theater. I'm glad, when I watched it, where I watched it,
Mhm.
it was long as shit, but that time went by fast.
I mean, I gotta tell you, in the theater, I didn't even notice how long it was because
Right.
I was just so enthralled with it. Obviously, I think like I may have enjoyed it a little bit more than you, but like I think that I was so enthralled with the movie that like when I was on my way to watch it, I was telling Jocelyn before we walked in, I was like, man, this this is gonna suck. Like, normally I'm uncomfortable, my back hurts,
Hmm.
like, I'm just like uncomfortable. Man, I sat down. I didn't give shit. Like it was perfect.
Right.
And we
I,
went and saw it
how many times
like
have you seen this movie?
probably 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, I've only watched it once. So I definitely need more viewings of it and
Yeah,
shit,
yeah. Just check
but
back in when you've seen it more. Next time you
when
watch it,
you matched my
if
number.
well, no, just the next time you watch it, if anything changes for you, just check back in before we
It's
start the
not, I'm
review of
not
the next one.
pissing this movie away and shit. It's still really great, but like in the theater, I mean, I had a great time watching it on the big TV.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you own a physical copy of this yet? Nice. Fucking, I don't mind. I think I need another watch before I make that decision. Definitely. Right now, I'm fine either way, but I know it's going to go away one day. So that what
You
really scares
gave
me.
an A+ movie. Yeah, I could own it.
Well, yeah, man. Fucking, there's been
I
plenty
mean,
of
that's
A
cool.
plus movies. Shit. But no, I
Is this
definitely
your trick into making me buy you movies from now on?
don't. No, 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 no.
Is this
Fucking,
what
I'm
this
still
is?
working on your art piece. So,
Yeah.
cult classic.
No, it's too big right
Yeah,
now. Maybe in the future it'll be a lost
I
gem,
think
but
it's number 5 in all time grosses in the summer or something,
yeah.
or horror, or I was reading somewhere where it's like number 5, and then it's
Mhm.
like I think this year, I think it's like number 7 or something next to like fucking all those goddamn like Marvel movies, especially with like Superman just coming out and shit. And so
You can't stop the nerds. They're fucking
yeah,
about it.
yeah, all the other crud, fucking um, yeah, I definitely don't see this, but I do see like people like not falling down a notch, but like in a few years, people's like, oh yeah, I love that movie, fucking,
Mm.
but
Yeah, down the line I could see it be a cult classic because it's forgotten,
right.
but not anytime soon.
Right. No, not soon. I'm like when I was watching the ending, my brain went, "Oh no, they're setting up a sequel."
They
It's
are.
like, "Oh, are they?"
The director said, please, no, I don't want to make another one. That was all I wanted.
Right.
And they said, okay, you're fired. Somebody start writing number 2.
Someone's gonna,
That's
yeah.
what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to that. I hope not. But there's nothing really to do
There's no other. It's
unless you
just like,
do.
oh, vampires in, oh, they're gonna go to the 1960s, or they're gonna,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. But like, but I think that with this story, the Smokestack twins are
That's your
the
focal point.
yeah, those are the story. Them and Samuel and Delta Slim and the Voodoo Queen,
Yeah.
like they are the story. It's not the vampires.
Mm,
So if you try to put those vampires in another time frame or
Then you're just
era,
making a
or give
vampire
their
movie.
origin, yeah, or their origin or whatever. Though the characters in this movie are so strong that I don't
Right.
think you can strike lightning twice in the
Yeah,
same
that's
spot.
why the Dead Dust Till Dawn. That's why there's only one of them, even though there's like
Yeah,
15 or
yeah, yeah,
whatever. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
and that's
because the Gecko
basically what's going to
brothers
happen.
were awesome, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But what do you call it? Yeah, when me and Tara were sitting down watching this, she forgot completely that this was a horror movie with vampires in it. She was like, "Oh, I thought this was just a period piece about
Mhm.
the the Jim Crow era, and it
Mhm.
was just going to be like they were just going to be just crackers trying to
Yeah.
fuck up an evening, a fucking,
And if
party
they
evening.
really needed to make a hour and a half movie, they could cut the vampires out of this movie and it would still been a good movie.
Still
Like
been good
that's what
movie,
I
but the vampires add a little flavor to it, you know.
well, yeah, for sure. But like when we were leaving the theater, I told Jocelyn, I was like, I didn't need vampires. Like that this movie was fantastic just the way that it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it honestly didn't need them. It was like
Mm,
it was like Big Mac sauce on the Big Mac. Like the Big Mac is good by itself, but you add this extra seasoning to it, then it's, this next level.
yeah,
This is
the
just such
sauce
a
makes
good
it a Big
movie.
Mac. Without the
I would
sauce,
have
it's just
been,
a hamburger.
well, yeah, okay, but that defeats what I was saying. But yeah,
Well, yeah, I
um,
know. Because I'm saying like the vampires were good, because
they
if this
were
was
they,
just
they were a fun addition, but this
right,
movie
a
would have
fun
been
addition. Yeah, that's a good one.
this movie would have been just as good to me
Okay.
if this was just
Period piece.
Smokestack twins coming back. They're setting up a juke. The juke happens. The whites come. They kill the whites at the end. Just same thing. Smoke kills, they get everybody else. Smoke comes out with the machine gun, all that situation. You cut the vampires completely out of this movie. It is still an excellent movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have a drama or an action quality to it. It's just movie,
Hmm.
but it's still a damn good movie.
Yeah.
Like you could cut that whole 30 minutes out of that movie and I would be like B plus. Like, you know what I mean? Like the vampires were not the point of this movie to me. There was too many other good things about this movie to be like it needed vampires.
All
The
right.
music, the cinematography, the writing, the characters, the dialogue,
The
everything. Like
representation.
yeah, that too. So like vampires. Yeah. All right, cool,
Like,
man. That's the
yeah.
French fries with the burger. Like
Right.
it's extra. It's extra fun, but it doesn't have to be there, not for me.
Hmm.
So, if they tried to make another one, I don't know how it
Oh yeah,
works.
no, if it's another and it's just about vampires, that's why you kill any idea. No sequel. You don't need a sequel. This isn't a film franchise. This is a by itself film that is just perfect on its own. Like it's just
Yeah,
perfect.
and we all
Don't
know we all know that Hollywood is famous for
you
taking
make
super
money,
popular
they're going to